Hello! In this video we will show all the advanced options of the Localization Pro assets. That is, all the batch processing options located in the localization configuration scriptable object. First of all, I assume that you already have some basic knowledge of the asset itself, and you already saw the previous tutorial, or at least has taken a look at the manual. This tutorial is based on the scenes located in the localization batch tutorial, and what we are going to do is to localize every single object in these two scenes. If you do in the traditional way, what you need to do is going object by object and adding a localizable object component, then setting the labels for every single language you have in your project, and so on. And although this method is okay if you are localizing your game as long as you are developing it, it's not okay for large project. When you develop a big project, usually you are focused on making the games working, and once it's finished and all the scenes are properly working is when you localize all the game itself, no? And that is where the batch processing and the advanced options really will save you dozens and hundreds of hours of work. So the first thing we are going to do is to set in the script, in the localizable configuration script, set the scenes to work with. In this case, we are going to work with two scenes, this tutorial 1 and tutorial 2, and you can put here as many scenes as you have in your project. The next step then is to add localization capabilities to every object in the scene, in every of the scenes of your game object. And to do that, here you can see a list with all the potentially localizable objects, that is text, images, audio source, text mesh pro, and also a custom object I created. This is a simple script I created here with a very simple behavior. The only thing that this script do is display a label when the mouse is over the game object, and to add localization capabilities to this script, the only thing I did is add this type to the types to localize in the localization configuration file. This has been shown in the previous tutorial, so I encourage, if you have no idea what I am talking about, I encourage you to show the adding localization to your custom object. This is a video tutorial also in my channel. So, as I said, the first thing to do is to set the scenes to work with, and then tell the batch processing that needs to add localization. In this case, I wish to localize all the text and all the own mouse over scripts. Simply clicking by add localization, I can take a look, and now all these objects has a localizable object component, and the default language has been set to the previous existing value. This has been done because this checkbox is set. If you click the set object value to default language, every localizable script you add to any object will set the current value to the default language, and it's useful if you are working in large project. Also, in the cube, you said that localizable object script has been added. So now I have in both scenes all the objects that I wish with the localizable capabilities, but the objects are not localized at all. It's only in the default language, in this case is English. So the next step is to export language files. In this case, I'm going to export all files, all languages, and this will create a comma separate file, a CSV file that can be edited with any spreadsheet. For example, I'm going to edit this file with Google Spreadsheet. So to do that, I simply click in File, Import, Upload, and drag and drop the CSV file we created, import data. And automatically, without touching anything, we can see here the CSV file already imported in the Google Spreadsheet. The format is quite simple. In this case, there are a lot of comments because I checked the add comments to the file. The format, as I said, is quite simple. The first column is an ordinal, is all the comments, and where in the really payload lines, the first column is an ordinal. Is only for the convenience of the editor of the spreadsheet, so it has no use. You can put here wherever you wish. The second column is really important. It's the key used internally by Localization Pro asset to match each content with the object. The third column is the name of the object of the game object in the scene, and it's also for convenience. You can put here whatever you wish. It's no matter what's in this column. It's only for informational purpose only. The fourth column is the localization label. In this case, you only have localization for one language, for the default language, English. And the fifth column has the label in the default language, just to help a translator to know what to put here. No? Just to know which language corresponds to each row, you can see here in the key that the last field of the key is the language to work with. In this case, then, we need to put here, for example, in Spanish, gráficos, and so on. Well, in fact, I already has prepared this translation, so that is what we need to put, what our translator will put in the spreadsheet. And then what we need to do is quite simple. Simply we need to download the file, again as a comma separate values, very important. We need to download as a CSV. And now we need to re-import this file to the project. That is where I put the file. And our project is now currently localized. If I change the language from English to Spanish or Japanese, I got all the translation done. And also for our custom object, I am a cube in English. Now I set it to Spanish, soy un cubo, and Japanese, whatever it is. And the same for our tutorial 2 scene. Well, current language is in Japanese, and as we can say, all the labels are in Japanese. Now Spanish, all the scenes change to Spanish, and also the game object, soy una esfera, in English, I am a sphere. So as you can see, we have localized in a batch processing several scenes, a lot of game objects. We can export all the localization labels to a spreadsheet, we can deliver this spreadsheet all around the world to our translator and get back to import the different translation, and all is done in batch processing quite fast and efficiently. One important thing, we only use the export all and import all options, but if you wish, you can export only a single language or import only a single language. This is interesting if you have different translators located in different places and you do not wish to send the big file to all of them. You can simply export one of the languages and then re-import the same language. Another option we didn't see is the remove localization. Well, use with caution. Remove localization is adequate when you make a mistake adding localizations and you add localization to a big amount of objects by error, and you wish to undo this option, no? So the best way then is to remove the localizable object script of all the objects selected here. Well, another important consideration of the import and export files of the batch processing is that only works with labels and strings. The question is clear. It's not possible to serialize in a spreadsheet an image or an audio file, an audio clip, or a material. So that is why you only can export and import string and labels. And that's all. We have localized all the game objects in several scenes using the batch processing with a few clicks. We use also a spreadsheet to boost the localization process, and as you can see, batch processing is really flexible and powerful. You can export all the languages in a single file, each language in a separate file if you wish to send to different translators, and the advanced option, the batch processing, is extremely powerful, either for large project or for your small project. As I said, it can save hours and hours of work. Thank you.